of that 2-0 victory. Take it away, guys.
Thanks, gents. And 2 victory, now 4-1 on the season for FlyQuest. Tied for second best in the league. Doing pretty well so far.
Yeah, and I mean, the way that they win is really convincing, too. These are really fast games, pretty clean overall, I'd say, and they do it in a very unique way that is like, that's a FlyQuest game when you see the draft and the play.
Yeah, I think the draft, I'm glad you mentioned that because we were talking about how does Dignitas fix their draft. Get someday on a carry champion, maybe play Varus against Misfortune and pair it with a healing support. They did all those things, but it just shows like Fly is so hard to draft against, to prepare for. You don't know what they're going to pull out. There's all these unique champions, both mid lane, jungle. These guys are really impressive. And honestly, coming into a FlyQuest game, you honestly don't know what to expect.
You certainly don't, and I think a guy who deserves a lot of credit here in helping make these flexible drafts possible and in performing on a lot of different champions is Moon. Moon, this game, brings out the Nidalee, and he looked really good on Nidalee, and this is not a champion we have seen in quite some time. First seen in NA LCS now, this game, and he's been the first guy to bring out a number of different champions this season.
Right, he had the Evelynn, he had the Kindred, and he looks good on everything too. Like we've seen him on Rengar the game before, where he looked
nice
like
too.
Yeah, this is someone is good at Nidalee. Some Nidalees you see they go in, they miss everything. Not Moon, but he is good on a variety of champions. You can't target him. High has a weird champ pool. You can't really target him. The bot lane, they're busting out MF AD carry. It's like, where do you look at this team? Because anytime you try and target someone, they just bust out this weird pocket pick that they seem extremely proficient on.
And one thing to call out, even though the Evelynn was 0-2, he was actually smashing those games, and his team was not having a good day there. So, I mean, Moon in general has performed across the meta champions. He's also bringing out stuff that is not played a lot, and he is showing up big time.
Yeah, he's performing incredibly well against all expectations that I had for him, because this guy was incredibly low in terms of when he was playing with energy. The guy's already more than doubled his kills. He's the kill leader in the NA LCS right now as a jungler who's playing all these crazy
40 kills last week.
It's ridiculous how good he's playing right now.
And it is a good meta for junglers, so we shouldn't be like, where did this come from? He's not stuck on Gragas and Rek'Sai like we've seen in the past, but I mean, that said, everyone's playing the same champion, so the fact that he is so far ahead, other than Acadian.
And the point is, though, everyone's not playing the same champions. We're having a lot of junglers here who are struggling. Look at Reignover, League MVP. He's getting targeted and pick and ban, and he's getting torn apart in some of these picks and bans because he has the inability to play all these different flexible champions. Moon, this guy who everyone had at the bottom of the jungle tier list coming into this year, is playing everything and playing the meta champions better than a lot of the big name LCS junglers.
Yeah, and he was even playing Evelynn in like Challenger Series, and I can tell you he is playing better now than he has ever played before, and it is incredible to see. He's like, right now, he's playing like a top 3 jungler in the North American LCS, and I thought I would never say that about Moon.
Right, and to be fair to the guy, if you asked anyone about how he was as a player outside LCS, he's a beast in solo queue. He always crushed scrims, and there just seemed to be this problem with translating it onto stage. And you see this with some players, especially the younger guys who can't quite get their foot through the door and actually make it onto the stage. And with a veteran team behind him with FlyQuest, I think that's really unlocked him more than anything else.
So what is it then? Is there any weakness for FlyQuest? How do they make the next step? Because people keep expecting them to stumble, they keep succeeding. You know, how do they make the elite team? Like, how do they become an elite team? How do they make that jump?
I think they're pretty much already there. I think a lot of the concerns when we came into the season was like, okay, well, they're going to lose laning phase most likely. They have kind of weird champ pools, but no one has really exploited that part of them so far. And the weak laning phase, I think you can say it's still a little bit there, but it hasn't been a huge detriment where it's like, oh, we're smashed in lane and now we can't recover, because they're making early game plays.
Yeah, and the way that, to answer your question, Azale, that they make it to the top of the standings or top team in my book, is they have to take down the team like Cloud9, right? They have to be able to beat, a lot of those members' old organization and show, they still got it. So that's what FlyQuest has to do. Is it's just a matter of time to see if they actually hold up and they can have those tests of the top of the team standings or standings.
And they certainly are going to have that chance. They're going to be playing Immortals tomorrow, but they have C9 next week. That is going to be a very hype matchup. FlyQuest versus C9, who is still undefeated. That could still change today. Moon going to grab our player of the game, though. You probably guessed it is. The whole segment was kind of just talking about Moon.
Player of the game goes to someone else. Yeah.
And I do want to talk a little bit about this as well, because Moon, whenever we're talking, like I've said, he's playing incredibly well, right? He's putting up great numbers, and there's more than stat line there. He's actually playing with confidence. People are going to be like, well, anybody who plays with High is going to be good, right? We've seen people play with High who have been underperformed. We've seen High actually elevate teams before, but I think it's BS that people are taking away credit from Moon, because I think he is playing really well, and I think that High is unlocking him, but I don't think that he's completely dependent on him.
Right, High can't make someone who's a bottom tier jungler suddenly top tier. Like, he doesn't do that. He would like.
Do you know how the body these fools started?
Yeah, I know.
Well, we'll see if C9 can stay perfect, because we've got more league action coming your way. Cloud9 hit the Rift next as they go up against Team Envy. Don't go anywhere.
Dig tries to make a play, but Fly has the setup, looking to return the favor. First blood goes the way of Lod, but it's going to be retaliated upon. Xpecial now going to be number 2. Can they make it 3? Lod going to go ahead and fire off that chain of corruption in bottom lane. Stranglethorn's counterattack. Bullet time coming out too. Chaser's going to be bursted. So is Lod.
Yo, they're half. Yo. GP. I'm coming. Kill barrel. Vod's dead. Can we just go to barrel? Yeah, I'm coming.
High looking to go deep. Keen is done. Someday going to be next if he's not careful about it. Chaser looking to make the play. Can't do it. Double kill for High. Someday forced to watch as the base and the Nexus are reduced to nothing, and FlyQuest grabs their 2-0.